Hello everyone, I'm Bill Hammond and I actually paid to see this, and welcome back to this year's Oscar Blitz, where I break down every nominee and every category at the 96th Academy Awards. Be sure to keep it locked on actuallypaid.com for full coverage of the Blitz in print form, and remember to subscribe right here to the channel for more videos. Tonight, we've got a huge one. Arguably the biggest category in the entire ceremony outside of Best Picture itself. I'm speaking, of course, of Best Actress. We had some major controversy this year, with Margot Robbie being left off the final list of nominees despite her incredible performance in Barbie. The question is, would she have won had she been nominated? I'm not so sure, because this is a pretty solid race between two candidates. But still, did she deserve to be part of the conversation? Let's look at the nominees to find out. Annette Benning, Naiad. If there was any justice in the world, Annette Benning would already have two Oscars, one for American Beauty and the other for 20th Century Women. But Naiad is an absolute nothing role. It's your standard issue, inspiring sports movie biopic, filled with cliches that have been done to death. It's one of the odder choices in this year's ceremony that both Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore were left off for their intriguing character work in May-December, yet Benning and Jodie Foster were nominated for a run-of-the-mill sports flick. For what Benning does, it's fine. I believe in the character's determination, and she swims pretty well, but that's not that big of an ask in a movie like this. Annette Benning should be an Oscar winner, but not for this. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon. Talk about a once-in-a-lifetime role. Lily Gladstone makes history as the first Indigenous actor nominated in this category, but honestly, I don't care about any of that. Regardless of her ethnicity or heritage, Gladstone gives a performance that will shatter your very soul. The innocent victim of Bill Hale's nefarious schemes, to watch her endure the loss of her family and suffer through the slow attempt on her own life, is to watch the most devastating kind of heartbreak. And yet she powers through it all with grace, determination, and a strong sense of self-worth. Bent out of any reasonable shape, she refuses to be broken, and that's where Molly finds her power. I sincerely hope this isn't a one and done for Gladstone, because she deserves the world after a performance like this. Sandra Huller, Anatomy of a Fall. I've been a fan of Huller since I first saw her in Tony Erdmann a few years ago. She's a bold performer with a tremendous range and a strong sense of humor. I just wish it was more on display in this movie. Instead, the name of the game is increasing coldness and monotone, numbing herself as a defense for the potential murder of her husband. It would be nice if this built to something, especially given the whole did she do it marketing of the film, but it's left intentionally ambiguous in a way that's not exactly satisfying. You do believe that she loves her child, but apart from the recording of her last fight with her late spouse, the performance is intentionally detached, which works in small doses, but not for the whole movie. Carrie Mulligan, Maestro. Apart from maybe the cinematography, Carrie Mulligan's performance is the best part of this fine but flawed film. As Felicia Montalegre, she transcends the trope of the quiet wife, never succumbing to Leonard Bernstein's vices and constantly asserting her own agency. In a lot of other films, this character would be a doormat, but not in Mulligan's hands. She knows her worth, and she knows her husband's proclivities. She keeps up appearances, but she's far from naive, and eventually gets to the point where the film becomes more her story than Bernstein's. This is not nearly the quality film that Netflix tried to sell, but Mulligan is worth every second she's on screen. Emma Stone, Poor Things. By far the most unique performance of the year, Emma Stone plays Bella Baxter in a manner that's endlessly delightful and eternally intriguing. Every moment of her journey of self-discovery is one we take with her, from the seductive to the silly, and it reminds the world that Emma Stone is a massively versatile actress. In almost any other year, this would be a guaranteed win, and no matter what the result, this will be a performance long remembered for how fully Stone throws herself into every scene, be it for physical comedy or dramatic contemplation. She won an Oscar for La La Land, but this is easily her best showing to date, filled with good humor, eroticism, and true intellect. So, who should win this thing? I think the separations are pretty clear. In 5th place is Annette Benning, who does fine in a role that demands nothing of her other than swimming. 4th goes to Sandra Huller, who was in 2 Best Picture nominees this past year, but just didn't rise to the level of her competitors. They're clearly on the bottom. Carrie Mulligan sits in third, giving a tremendous turn that would be competitive in most years, but pales in comparison to the top two. I've agonized over this, but I'm going with my heart on this one and saying that second place should go to Emma Stone, and my imaginary vote would go to Lily Gladstone for the most heartbreaking performance I've seen in a good long while. Now that we've got that out of the way, what of Margot Robbie? A lot was made of the irony that Barbie didn't get nominated but Ken did. However, I'm fine with Ryan Gosling's supporting actor nomination. His performance was quite memorable. The real crime is that America Ferrera got nominated for supporting actress just for giving one monologue. When people examine this film years down the road, you'll get people who say, "Oh yeah, Ryan Gosling was really good in that." What you'll never hear is, "Oh yeah, Barbie? I love that boring mom character way more than the vibrant lead who made this film what it was." So yeah, Margot Robbie should be here, and if she was, I'd slot her into third place, just above Carrie Mulligan and Sandra Huller. That's all for this week. Keep it locked on the blog, actuallypaid.com, for more reviews and features, and stay tuned for next week when we'll tackle the granddaddy of them all, Best Picture. Until then, everybody, I'm Bill Hammond. I actually paid to see this.